Hello, my name is Sophie Rice and I will be introducing you to our project Home Is. The project was developed by MCLA professor Melanie Mowinski, Norman Rockwell Museum chief educator Mary Burley, and powered by MCLA's advanced design students. This project was made possible by generous funding from the Elephant Rock Foundation. This is everybody from MCLA's From Concept to Print class. You will be hearing from all of us throughout this video. This project was inspired by the exhibition Finding Home, 4 Artist Journeys, which consists of visual immigration stories of 4 illustrators, Francis Jetter, David McCauley, James McMullen, and Juji Morales. The exhibition consists of more than 150 original drawings, paintings, linoleum block prints, and digital mixed media works. Originally, each student from our From Concept to Print class was going to conduct a workshop with a community center, school, or local organization. During these workshops, we were going to teach the process of linoleum carving and explore how the notion of home is extremely unique to each participant. Everyone's linoleum carvings were going to come together in a massive Steamroller print day hosted by the Norman Rockwell Museum in early March. Unfortunately, it is impossible to proceed with as planned, but we are hopeful that we can reschedule this part of the project for sometime later this year. What is linoleum carving? Linoleum was originally created to be a floor covering, but has been adapted by artists as a medium to carve relief-style prints. Linoleum prints are created when an artist carves away the negative space and leaves behind whatever will be printed. For example, if you look at the images on the slide, the artist created these images by carving away all of the space that is shown as white. After the carving is done, the artists ink their linoleum and transfer the images onto paper. Turning a negative to a positive. COVID-19 has prevented us from gathering and participating in community events like the workshop we had planned. We know that the world is dealing with an unprecedented situation and that everybody is trying their best in these challenging times. We have adapted our project to be more accessible to everybody at home by including a mixed media collage component to this project. The topic of home has become more relevant than any of us could have imagined. We hope that you will join us in examining the meaning of home while you are quarantined in your home. The rest of this video will give you more instruction and insight into the project and the technical aspects of the art form.
Hi, my name is Drew with a D, as in, let's get down to some brainstorming. As you know, the theme of this project is finding home, and what home means to us personally. I'm here to help us through the brainstorming process. So, what home means to you can be anything. It could be a person, a place, a feeling. What home means to me is anywhere I know how to operate the shower handle. But for you, it can be anything. A pet, the sounds of birds chirping, or the feelings of rage you get after your sister ate the last slice of pizza that you were serving. So, to get some ideas flowing, I recommend making a list of ideas. Anything that reminds you of home, anything at all. And once you've done that, let's make a sketch. I've actually prepared a quick 7-minute sketch beforehand of me as a superhero. Obviously, I had to tone down the muscle structure to fit on the canvas. Just kidding. The sketch will look something more like this. What reminds me of home is my pet Ollie. Anyways, think about how abstracting and simplifying your design can be better for your project. Sometimes less is more. Like the less jokes I put in this video, the better it probably would have been. Anyways, that's it for me. Good luck on your journey, and I'm sending this off to whoever's next.
Do you not have access to printmaking materials at your home? That's okay. You can engage with this project with any art supplies that you have available to you. Here you can see a drawing that I did that fits with my idea of finding home. I did this digitally on my iPad, but you can go ahead and do this with pen and pencil, marker, crayon, watercolors, whatever you have in your home is welcome for this project. In this part of the presentation, I'm going to show you a mixed media approach through the use of collage. I'm going to start off by showing you how to collage through images of my process of making a collage that fits with my idea of home. The tools that I use to do this are a glue stick, a pair of scissors, a pencil, and a bone folder. The materials that I used was just a bunch of assorted papers. So I have a lot of scraps left over from previous projects. I have some things that I received in the mail, paint chips, a piece of wrapping paper, some articles that I had printed out. You can go ahead and use whatever paper products you have in your home. So scrapbook paper, stationery, envelopes, junk mail, magazine pages, newspaper, whatever you have is going to work for collage. The next step is to get inspired and get organized. So we're going with the idea of finding home. So the first step that I did was to flip through a magazine and look for images, text, and textures that fit with my definition of home. I then went to that article that I had printed out and cut out words that fit with my idea of home or words that were inspiring to me. You can also just circle them if you don't want to cut them out. Then I sorted through that pile of mixed papers that I had and picked ones that felt like home to me. So I was focused on colors and textures that reminded me of home. Some of the words that I associate with home are comfort and warmth. So I tried to choose pieces of paper that fit with those ideas. So you can reference back to that list of your brainstorming of definitions of your personal definition of home and see what fits for you. Then I cut out pieces from my magazine. I cut up that paint chip that I had. I noticed that a lot of pieces of paper that I had this light purple color on it and it reminded me of when I was little, we used to have a lilac tree in our backyard. So I went and I drew just a basic flower shape on the back of my purple paper and then I cut that out. Then I found the piece of paper that I would use to put my collage onto. The piece of paper that I used was roughly a 5 by 5 square, but you can work with any size that you have. The next step is to take those pieces of paper you have and just layer them on top of each other. You're not going in with glue right away, you're just layering pieces of paper together and seeing what works. Typically, your first idea is not going to be your strongest, so I'll typically do about 3 to 5 different layouts before I find the one that is best for me. So these were my first and then my second one. You can see some papers that stuck throughout all of them and others that were swapped out. Here is more evolution. As you can see, the further along I get, the more similar they are, but they're still not quite all the way what I would like mine to look like. Then here is what I decided I wanted my collage to look like. The papers are still just layered on top of each other, not with glue, but that's what I'm going to go ahead and do next. Before I glue it, I always take a picture of what I have, because in order to glue down those pieces of paper that are on the bottom layers, you're going to need to remove the top layer. So just by taking a photo, you're able to remember that a little easier. To glue down those pieces of paper, there are a few tips that will make this process a bit easier. You're going to want a piece of waste paper, so any paper that you're not going to use again, and you're going to glue on top of that. It should be a dry surface, so once you get a glue on that, you're going to want to fold it or switch to a different piece of paper. And then to glue, you're going to start from the middle of the piece of paper and move out towards the edges, coating the entire back of the piece of paper. Next, I took my bone folder and I used that to smooth out the piece of paper, make sure there weren't any bumps in the glue. It also helps the glue adhere to the back piece of paper. If you don't have a bone folder in your home, you can use the side of your scissors or even the top of your glue stick. Here are some in-process pictures of when I was layering those pieces of paper back together. Once I had glued down everything that I had, I was starting to feel like it wasn't quite complete. So I went back to those words that I cut out from that piece of paper previously, and I added some text. I still wasn't feeling like this was a completed piece though. So I took these Posca pens, which are paint markers, and I added some lines and shapes to make my collage feel more complete. You don't have to use the same material. You can use any sort of paint, gel pens, or even whiteout to do this. And here is my finished collage. As you can see, mine is a bit more abstract. If you want to be more concrete and make a collage of a specific object, feel free to do so. Mine was more focused on the colors, textures, and words that I have associated with the idea of home. I hope that this was helpful and got you inspired on how you can use the materials you have in your house to connect to your idea of home.
Here's an open invitation to submit your work on what home means to you, especially during this time. Are you creating a mixed media project? Take a photo of it and email it to us at homeis2020@nrm.org. Do you share your art on Instagram? Use the hashtag #homeis2020 instead. We will be taking everyone's art and sharing it to the world in a great way. Please send or share your photos before June 1st. We're excited to see what home means to you and hope this will bring you some form of solace during this time. For more information, go to nrm.org/homeis2020.